Happy New Year, everybody. My apologies. I've been sitting here just doing absolutely nothing and totally forgot. I was logged in, just sleeping at the wheel here. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for reminding me, Ed. How's it going? Let's see. We got sound. There we go. Okay. No, really, Ed had to ping me and remind me. Don't forget, I'm all logged in. I was ready to go. Just staring off into the computer. Oh my goodness sakes, crazy market here today. And I say crazy because, Happy New Year, Jim. We're just in chop. That's all we're doing right now. Here's the hourly chart. I think this shows a good picture of it. And just look at today's candles in here. It's just kind of choppy, not much going on. There's some really nice charts. There really are. So, I mean, if you feel so inclined to trade these, trade in this market, it makes sense. It really does. For me, I've bought nothing and I've sold nothing today. I'm just going to sit and kind of wait a little bit because I don't like the choppiness. We also have Fed minutes coming out Wednesday that could be a real downer for the market. It could be an upper. Who knows? And I just don't want to be in front of the buses when the buses come by, hit me from behind or hit me in my face, whichever. So we'll sit back, just kind of let things kind of go here. But like I say, there are some really good charts. We'll look at some today. But the first thing I'd like to do is, does anyone have any questions? Let's open this up. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Truly do. Yes, this is being recorded, by the way. Any questions out there? Hey, Mai, how are you? Let's see. A few that I see popping up on the scanner here. Jack Henry. I'm seeing a lot of 3/8 traps setting up. A lot of nice charts trending up, pulling back on a 3/8 trap. It's really kind of cool. This past year, last year before last, and this past year, I've heard lots and lots of reports from traders out there, and one of their favorite, it seems like one of the favorite trade setups is that 3/8 trap right there. And once you get that dialed in, I think this is definitely a staple in for the trader. I truly do. I believe it is one of those chart patterns that is just never going to go away. And the reason I don't believe it's ever going to go away is we're always going to have trending charts, and we're going to always have charts that rally up and pull back, rally up and pull back. And that's what the 3/8 trap does. It traps charts in the pullback area based on your where you want it to come down to. So I know a lot of people that they might use that 17 as their bottom line for the trap. A lot of people use the T line. And of course, anytime we talk about the 3/8 trap or just say trap, in general, we're talking about the 3 and the 8. Chen's asking to explain the 3/8 trap. Be happy to. I'm actually going to come over here to this chart. It's a little cleaner chart. And where's my 3? We're going to put the 3 up. And we're going to change that to high. And I'm going to change this to a green color. I'd be happy to do that. Well, that's not green, is it? That's going to bug me if it stays that way. There we go. There we go. So, thanks for the question, by the way. The 3/8 trap is, first of all, the trap is the 8 exponential moving average. That's this black line right here. And the top line of the trap is this green line. Now, I use the 3 exponential. It's the average of the highs. I know a lot of people that use averages of the last price. Watch that green line. I'm going to click on the last price and see how it just brought it right down. I would rather have. I would rather see more candles in this area, and the last price, it does eliminate some. So if you're looking to eliminate your watch list or slow it down, if you're looking to do that, then the last price might be best. But I always use the high price, and there's no one better than the other. Okay. So we're talking the 3 exponential moving average, and we're talking the 8 exponential moving average. Now what we're looking for is price in this area. And then what we're going to, a couple of things to go with this is we want the trend to be there. Okay? So not all 3/8 traps are worth a darn. And we need some qualifications. We need some conditions. So if the 3/8 trap is a condition, I also want a trend as a condition. And then we can, that starts to bring the cream to the top. And then we always want to watch over here on the left and make sure we're not running into some major resistance, things like that. Does that help a little bit? And here let me look for a few more. Look at CTSH. Look at that, CTSH. See how we think about conditions, and I want a trending condition. Think about the 3/8 trap, and I want a pullback. The 3/8 trap, 99% of the time, 99% of the time, it will be lower than a recent high. 99% of the time. There are those times where it'll be just kind of butt right up against those highs in here, but most of the time it's going to be this pullback. So what we're doing here is we're looking for a chart that's up and that pulls back. That simple. In a trend. Very, 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 very simple. It has got to be one of the craziest, easiest chart patterns in the world. Sometimes we make it difficult because we try to confuse it, and we try to outsmart the chart pattern. But I think it is one of those staples. So I love it here. Let's look at MO. Look at MO there. So here's a 3/8 trap. Here's our trend. Let's see, I could probably come up with another one. This one's actually moving down a little bit. There, moving down a little. See how we've got a trend and a pullback? Now, here's the thing to do, is if you're not sure about the 3/8 trap, don't focus right here. All right? Every chart we just looked at, don't focus right here. What you want to do is you want to focus back here. And this is how you become comfortable with the 3/8 trap. Don't focus right here. Stop looking for a buy. Okay? Focus on what it's done. And then what you'll do is you'll start to become comfortable because you'll understand the chart pattern. Rally up, pull back, you'll understand that chart pattern. You'll understand it. So, but if the only thing we do is focus on the right now, you'll miss the power of the 3/8 trap. Okay. Let's see. Chris is asking, do you use the daily as a primary with 3/8 trap study? I do. I do, and that's just because I'm a daily chart person. That doesn't mean that you can't have, it doesn't mean that in your scans you can't have the weekly. Think of it as conditions. Okay, let's think of this as conditions. And let me get my tool out here to there we go. So what we want to do is we want to put conditions in place. All right. And we'll make that enough right there. So now what we're going to do is, let's see, Chris is asking, Chris is the one that asked about the daily chart as your primary with a 3/8 trap study. But what if you also follow a weekly chart? What's wrong with having the weekly chart, and let's do this, either trending or maybe in a trap as well? Sorry, my handwriting with a mouse is not too cool. So why couldn't we have, the weekly setup? Okay, I should just try not to write out words. So a condition might be, maybe you want the 3/8 trap on the weekly, and or maybe you want it trending. And then you want to do the same thing on the daily, perhaps. Okay? So you can when you're looking at charts, and whether you're looking at weekly charts, a combination of daily and weekly charts, or just the daily, you can add monthly in there if you want. You can add an intraday time frame if you want. Think of it as conditions. So you put all your conditions that you want to be met, and then that will tell you what charts to look at if they meet all your conditions. Does that make sense, Chris? And great question, by the way. Thank you. And I'll share here before we're done here pretty quick. I'll share a couple of things with you that I've done. Yeah, we'll do that. So Tony is asking, where is a possible entry? Fantastic question. So let's do this. Let's look at SEA. No, let's don't look at that one. That's ugly. Oh, I'm looking here. Things have kind of pulled back a little. Well, let's take Ford, okay? Let's get rid of this right here. See, Ford right here, a 3/8 trap, isn't it? So let's talk about Ford right here. So where's the entry? Okay, this is where an awful lot of traders get kind of sideways. And there's no perfect answer for this. There is not. Because some people are going to think, well, the entry was right here. Some are going to think here. Some maybe right here. Some right here. Some right here. There is no perfect answer to where is the entry on the 3/8 trap. Other than, and this is what I look for. First of all, I have no illusions that I'm some super duper, I can get the absolute very best entry. I have no illusions. I cannot do that. Okay, absolutely no illusions that can happen. So what I tend to look for is, where do I think this chart can go? That's one of the questions I want to ask myself. So if you determine by however you determine, and I can show you how I might get to something up here. If you determine that is where this chart may go to, then really, how important is an entry here? And I would argue that the answer is, it is not important at all. It is just simply not important. Not when you've got 17.5% you can be working with. If you're day trading, that becomes important then, yes. But for swing trading, the 3/8 trap is the entry. And, you're going to get, there'll be times when you will enter up here at the top. Sometimes you'll enter more in the middle of it, and sometimes you might even catch it down here. But if we spend our time worrying about, oh my God, where do I enter this, and we lose track of the fact we're looking at the chart to swing higher. That's what swing traders do. That's what traders do in general, and we're talking to the long side here. So if you're buying something, you're expecting it to move higher. But we get locked into this problem of an entry when the 3/8 trap is the entry. I hope that was helpful. And thank you, Tony. And then Tony, I see, wrote up here. Thanks for your questions, by the way, everybody. Tony also wrote break above the 3 EMA. Now, I have to tell you, that's one of my favorite trades right there, is the break above. But then I'm more of a let's see here. I want to see the bullishness, and then I'm going to go with the follow through is what I'm going to look for. So let's take candlestick signals for an example. Let me find one here. Let me see if Vico is one. Not quite what I want. There we go. Let's take BTU, okay? So I see this candlestick right here. Big candlestick. I'm not necessarily interested in buying this candlestick. Now this was not a 3/8 trap, okay? But it did break out over the 3. And what I want to show to your question is a breakout over the 3 EMA with a big candlestick, okay? So in candlestick trading, we don't want to chase the candlestick that gets your attention. We call and I'm horrible about this, and every candlestick educator in the world is horrible about this. You see this candle pattern, this big stick right here, and that's a reversal signal. Well, maybe in some ways it is, but the reality is it's the candlestick that got your attention. Where you trade this is above this candlestick, or at very minimum above the low of that candlestick. Now again, we want to go back to the chart, and where do we think this chart's going to go? That's what we want to think about. Not about getting into it. Not yet. Let's think about where this might go. Does that make sense right here? Does this make sense maybe right there? Does to me. So what I'm going to look for is positive trading. Now that we've broken out over the 3, I want to look for positive trading or a sign that the bulls are holding in here. So an inside day, and you'll see me do this a lot. Put a buy box in there like that. So, and I'll go a little bit higher because I don't mind buying the breakout. That's where this becomes a good trade, in my opinion, is anywhere in that green box right here is what I would be looking at. So, and there'll be times when you will get a good entry maybe here, but there'll be other times where you're going to get that entry here. And either place is okay if you see the path to profits. Okay? If I see something here, what's WUBA doing? There we go. Look at WUBA here. Look at that. Beautiful 3/8 trap here, and ran right up. Here we pull back. Is that a buy? It would be for me. Absolutely would be for me. And there's a nice little breakout. So, and that breakout of the 3 is one of my favorite type buys. So, inside the trap, breakout of the trap, and then have it, extend higher, and that's where we make our money. Let's see, Rod, is there a 3/8 signal in the Thinkorswim? No, Everything I'm doing here is off the scanner. I don't believe Thinkorswim has a, say, a 3/8 trap, anything. And I use TC2000, and this is not in TC2000. You build it by putting the 3 exponential on your chart and putting the 8 exponential on your chart. And there it is, just like that. And as far as finding them goes, what I'm going to use is the scanner here. And the scanner, there's, I don't know, literally, and I do mean thousands of ways you can set the scanner up. The 3/8 trap is very easy, and I know myself or Ed just, bends over backwards helping people setting it up. But right there, I mean, look at that. And one of the focuses, I think, for the new year here is focus on trending charts and focus on keeping your stops small, your losses small. So how can we do that with the scanner? Or I'm sorry, with the 3/8 trap. So let me get rid of this right here. There we go. So here we have a trend, a very nice trend. And if you're one of these people that you've got to dial in the lows and all that, then okay, I'm going to use the Trendicator, the T-line, and price, and I can see it's in a trend. Here we have a high, and we have a pullback. And if your trap is the 8 and the 3, where would you not like this chart? There's only one acceptable, simple answer. If it closed below the bottom line of the trap. Excuse me. A lot of times in trading, we make things difficult by ourselves. Take CVS, for instance. So maybe you buy CVS and you put your stop in here. You put a clear stop. All right, there it is. Maybe you put it right here, don't, just below the T line. So let's say the chart does this. We closed today below the T line. But because you've made your mind up that this is a good chart, this is going higher. This is going to 110 maybe. So you know what? I'm going to hold this, even though it broke your rule. Remember, you like it because it's a 3/8 trap. You would not like it if it broke below the trap. I mean, let's think about that. Where would you love this chart? If you bought it in here, where would you love it? If it did this, you'd be in love. You would be even more in love if it did this. So wouldn't it stand to reason that if it did this, you wouldn't love it? But we complicate things because we heard somebody say that this is going to be a $110 chart. And then what happens is we hold it. And then we come over here and let me just draw a line like that. We come over here and we say, you know what? I'm going to hold this because I see support. And I don't disagree with you. Maybe that is support. I don't know. Comes down there. But in the meantime, you have just lost, I don't know, if you're trading an option, 20% maybe, something like that, without doing all the math on it. For 2022, let's focus on trading trending charts, and let's focus on keeping your losses small. Nothing says you can't buy this back when it sets up again, and maybe whomever you believe that this will be a $110 stock. And I don't deny that, and I believe it could be. I believe this could be a $500 stock. Why not? But on its way to $500, it's going to do this. And if you are one of these traders that you buy and you sell and you constantly do that, you're never going to make money. But if you come in here and you design a system for yourself, like the 3/8 trap, and you tell yourself, and I mean like clockwork, I mean totally like clockwork. If I buy this 3/8 trap here, and if it closes below the T line, which that's the lower line of the 3/8 trap, I'm going to get out. Yes, you're going to get stopped out of a few. That's a fact. But what you're going to do is keep your losses small, and you'll eliminate these big losers right here. Because to make up for these, you've got to have a whole lot of winners and some big winners to make up for these losses. The 3/8 trap, the idea of the 3/8 trap, the system, not necessarily the 3 and the 8. You could use any two moving averages you want, and I can prove it to you. If you lived and died by that one little system, I believe your probabilities would go much higher in trading. Sorry, I probably should have been asking some questions here. I hope that made some sense. Okay. Chris, ask another way, 3 equally valid for a 1 hour time frame. Yes. Yeah, you can set up a 3/8 trap for any time frame that you want to set it up for. Absolutely you can, yes. Because all you're looking for are conditions. And one condition we want is a trend. So you want your hourly time frame in some kind of trend. And you can determine what the trend is. There's no super magic to a trend, other than I do believe in a trend you need to have a low, a high, a higher low, or double bottom, and then you need to have a higher high. And this becomes the tradable bottom right here. So no matter what time frame you look at, here, let's just come over here to a 15-minute. Well, what'd you say? You said hourly, didn't you? Let's look at the hourly. Let's get rid of all this. And I'm going to go back here, and I'll tell you why I'm not going to look at this. I'm going to go back here, look at the 3/8 trap. Can everybody see it? Is it clear? 3/8 trap. And then we kind of bobble along. Here we run up, 3/8 trap. Here's a good one. Run up, 3/8 trap. See that? So you can do this on any time frame you want. The reason I didn't look at this is when I look at a 3/8 trap, I don't want it to do this. I don't want it to go from a downtrend up. I want it to go from an uptrend down. That's why this here is perfect. This is not so perfect right here on the hourly chart. Okay? Thank you, Tony. Richard, do you buy on the inside day? Sometimes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's look at in-lock. Whoops. There we go. Look at in-lock. Does that work for us on the daily chart? I think it does. So here we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher. Now see, we're in a downtrend here. So let's get out of the downtrend. I'm not interested in buying it in here, but let's get out of that downtrend. We're now out of it. There's my trend. I use the Trendicator as a trend. Here we pull back. There's a 3/8 trap. Here we rally up. Here we are. Here's a 3/8 trap right in here. And I'm not suggesting this is a buy right now. I'm just saying this is a good one for the watch list. I'm not suggesting any of these are buys right now. We might look at a few before we're over here. Might be good buys, but okay. Let's see. The red and green dots are VWAP. No, the red and green dots is a lazy man's way of seeing a trend automatically show up on the chart. So what this is it's a 17 exponential moving average, okay? And with TC2000, we just have figured out a way how to make it green dots and red dots. That's all. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to make a deal with ourselves. We're never going to trade long when we have red dots above us. Hey, Tex, how you doing there? We're never going to trade long having red dots above us. We're only going to trade long when we have green dots below us, and that means we're trending. We're trending here. We're trending down. We're trending up. See, we're trending up. We're trending down. Why would you want to buy anything in here? So, let's see, Chris, how many up periods, days, or hours do you use to consider an uptrend has started? Okay, great question there. So let's stay with the daily chart. You can look at any time frame you want to, but we're going to look at the daily. An uptrend, say we have a downtrend, a clear downtrend. Then an uptrend, I want a low, a high, a higher low, or double bottom, same thing. And then I want to break out of wherever that high is. This now starts a trend. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is I use this right here. This is, like I said, this is a lazy man's way of a trend. And as long as you have these green dots and price above that, you're going to be in a trend. Now, it may not be long enough for, say, you might want to see a chart trending for 3 weeks, or maybe you want the 50-day moving average to be trending higher right there. And you can do all that. You can absolutely do all that. That can be part of your conditions. Okay. So let me give you an example of how I might do this. And I use the scanner. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want a trap, right? Let's set up our basic conditions. So I mean, I just know where it is. So I'm going to say a trap this candle. It's already set to daily. I'm going to change it to, and I'm just going to fly through this, okay? If somebody wants me to go slower later, I can, but right now I'm just going to go through it. Rescan it. So I have a pre-made watch list that I use, and there's 333 stocks that meet the criteria of a 3/8 trap right now. Now, I also want a bullish candle. I don't care to see bearish candles. In other words, in my case, I use white and black, so I only want to see a white candle. If you use a green and red type chart pattern, then you would want to see a green candle, but it's still going to be called white candle in here. Now that dropped us down to 176 possibilities. Now I want my Trendicator to be working. Okay, so that's the green dots. So what I'm going to do there is just type in the word rising. And there it is right there. And it automatically comes up with the 17. And we'll leave it at 10 days. We'll leave that there. We'll rescan. And now I'm down to 28 possibilities. 28 possibilities. let's name this. I'm gonna say test and then 1, 322, 2. There we go. We'll create that window. And there is a way right there to get conditions set up for the 3/8 trap. Now you may want other conditions, and I'll even show you a couple more here that you might want to consider when looking at this. Let me answer some questions. Let me make sure this stays on the top. There we go. And let me get rid of this over here. I need to keep my eyes on the market. Okay. Let's see. Mike is asking, what would you do with the SPY on the 1 hour chart? You mean right now, Mike? Are you meaning if I look at the SPY on the 1 hour chart right now, what would I do? I would do exactly what I've been doing all day. I would put my hands in my pants and I would sit patiently till the SPY actually gave me more of a clue. That's what I would do. If you are looking at the price action through here, I don't see anything that's bullish. I better stay right here. I don't see anything that's bullish, nor do I see anything that's bearish right now. I see a 1 hour SPY that's giving me absolutely no information whatsoever. And that's exactly what I would do, and that's exactly what I am doing. Okay? So we have our scan set up here. Now, one thing I am going to do to speed things up a little bit, this is going to stay all in the daily, but I'm going to adjust this to the 15-minute time frame. So what it will do, notice I have it set to a new high and a new low. None of this is going to change. New high and new low on the daily. But I'm going to change this to the 15-minute. And what that'll do is that'll kick off some alerts through here because the 15-minute is faster. But it's still going to be a white candle and a 3/8 trap. And that way we can look at some charts, okay? And there's CVS. So, well, let's look at DVA. So DVA made a 15-minute high and a daily 3/8 trap. So all it is putting those conditions in your favor. So, you know, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I love the scanner. If you don't use the scanner, that's your business. That, you know, it's your trading is your business. You can use carrier pigeons to do whatever, to tell you what to buy if you want. It's whatever you want. I'm going to share it with you how you can set a chart up to put some advantages in your favor, put some, you know, things in your favor here. And that's one of the name of the games right there. I cannot help you what's between your ears. I can't do that. I can't help you if you're into drama. I can't help that. Over time, I could maybe help you get rid of it, you know, an exorcism for drama or something. But I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to show you how to set this up and how to set a chart up for this strategy. Sorry, I can't do two things and talk. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. But I'm going to show you how to set the 3/8 trap up here. Just a second. Sorry. There we go. That just looks better. And you can set the conditions up how you want. Like I said, it's your business. You treat your business how you want to treat your business. Here's AA. You know, we're in a 3/8 trap, a white candle, and we're making a 15-minute high right there. I can prove it hands down 100% of the time. So let's continue this. Because is this all the conditions we want? Well, maybe it is. Okay, maybe it is. Or maybe you want other conditions. So I'm just going to throw one out here for fun. Let's say we want MACD. So when you're doing your own scanning, whatever you're looking for, consider that. Rising, I want bullish, MACD, bullish, 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 MACD. Bullish here. Bullish MACD. And that dropped us down to 23. I forget what it was, but we're now down to 23 possibilities. Now I'm going to save this, and we'll let it click off a little bit more. A few weeks ago, I was working with somebody, and they were pretty adamant about using the cloud. And I admit I know nothing about the cloud. And I'm not going to learn a great deal about the cloud. Anyway, I'll show you what I did for him. And with the help of Ed, because the individual, he said he really wants to use the cloud, but he doesn't understand the cloud like me. But he sees a lot of charts that he liked the idea of bullish above the cloud, bearish below the cloud. He liked that idea. So, okay. So I got with Ed after talking with the individual, and we said, I'm just looking at some charts that are popping up. Look at that. I mean, they just work. So what we came up with was this. And I'm going to add the cloud to this. And that's the last thing we're going to add to this. And then we'll just look at some charts. So I'm going to just type in here ICH, and that takes me to the cloud. So all this other cloud stuff has been here, but the individual I was working with, he just wanted to know above the cloud or below the cloud. And I talked him out of price because I said, nah, that is going to be an action of I have to hurry up and get into the chart. And when I convinced him that we want to get away from price above the cloud, let's think about taking our time and putting moving averages above our cloud. So what we did is, like I said, I asked Ed, and Ed created an average above the cloud, an average below the cloud, an average inside the cloud. And you could use whichever ones you want. So what this individual is doing, you know what? This is where I'm going to go over here to a new group now. So I'm just going to click on the new group. So say somebody is scanning with Thinkorswim. If you can put all this together with Thinkorswim, put it all together. I mean, if you like the idea of putting conditions to meet, to put you in a more favorable spot to make money, I'm just showing you the possible conditions, okay? This is how I would set it up on the live trading alert scanner. All right, let's go back to ICH here. ICH. There we are, above the cloud. So it comes out of the box like this. I'm going to change this to the exponential, and I'm going to say I want my Trendicator to be above the 17 or above the cloud, because I use that a lot, and all it is the 17 exponential moving average. So I want the 17 to be above the cloud, and we'll rescan this. Oops. Over here in group 1, I forgot to click and now we have 14 charts that meets that criteria. All right. So we'll let this kind of give it some time to click off. I'm going to answer a question up here, and we'll see what shows up now, okay? Let's see. Rick, how do you estimate your target when it's at all-time high? If you could show me a chart that's all-time high, I'll show you exactly how to do that, Elo. But you do the work, you find a chart that's there, and then I'll show you, all right? So here, remember what we did here. We put we put some conditions together, and in these conditions, here's what's coming up right there. And there's the cloud chart that I have. There's the cloud. We're above the cloud. And by the way, let me get rid of this right here. And I'm going to make that go away, clean the chart up. There we go. So now, where's our 3/8 traps here? And I see traps because I mean traps. Here's one. 17's above the cloud. There's one. 17 is above the cloud. Now, right here, it wasn't above the cloud. But I'll tell you what this individual's doing. They're actually using the 17. Then they do. They use the 17 either inside the cloud or above the cloud, but they've added the 8, the trap. The trap must be above the cloud. So I thought that was, I worked with them a little bit. They came back with me a few days later, and they said, hey, Rick, I've got this system that I'm using. I really like it, and here's what they did. They want the 17 either above the cloud or in the cloud. And on both of them, they've got it where the T line is above the cloud, has to be. So if the 17 was in the cloud and the 8 was above the cloud, that means the trap has to be above the cloud. You see how we did that? Isn't it really cool? I think it's pretty darn cool myself. J and J, it's doing, I mean, you may not like that chart. I don't particularly like that chart right here, but it's doing exactly what we asked it to do. Exactly what we asked it to do. 17 above the cloud, a 3/8 trap, which it is a 3/8 trap right now. Okay. Let's see, ACET. How do I get the trend? Okay, let's do that. Let's get rid of everything here. Our target, that's what you wanted, right? Okay, this is a great question. I'm gonna take a little sip of coffee here, though. Get my throat a little bit wet. So the question is, how do you determine your targets, which it's at an all-time high? Great question. I get asked this question by hundreds of people a year. The first thing, and I've said this for a long time, and the first thing usually is not what people like. How about you just close your eyes and just throw a dart? Because that's as good as it gets right there. I truly believe that. That's as good as it gets. Because here's what's going to happen anyway. And by the way, I'm going to show you a more official way to do it. The truth is, throwing a dart will be as good as it gets. If you buy this in here and it pops up and maybe moves up again and it does this, you're going to sell it anyway. 99% of the people out there swing trading will sell it anyway. So what does that target have to do with anything? Like I said, that's as good as it gets. And I want to say this again because this is important. I don't want anyone to ever get locked in to Mr. Magoo said that ACET was going to go to $28.75. So you happen to trade AC, what is this? Green here. There we go. You start trading this and it moves up, it moves up, it moves up, and you get it in your mind that it's going to hit that. And what happens is it rolls over and rolls over and rolls over and rolls over. And now you're sitting down here. You never took profits. And you've just wasted all that time and maybe even be underwater. So don't ever get locked into some target that any Mr. Magoo put up there, okay? Me too. I could be Mr. Magoo. Don't ever get locked into so-called targets. Now, with that said, let's work on that. So if my favorite way to do it, when I do such a thing here, and I'm going to get rid of this now here. My favorite way, I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. There we go. Is TC2000 has this Fibonacci projection little thing on here. So I'm going to come, right here, we broke out and pulled back. I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to come up to the highest point, which is right here. And then I'm going to take this line and bring it up maybe to this point right here, the pullback, the low. So we have this high and a low, and now we're moving up. There's your targets. And honestly, if the chart does this, and this is your magical number, the minute the chart does this, you're going to get out of it. Whoops, red. You're going to get out of it anyway. Okay? So the thing, charts that's breaking out to new time highs, the thing to do is follow price. As price moves up, maybe put a stop in there. Raise your stop up. Price moves up, move your stop up. Just like that. If you want to keep holding it, you know, if you want to just keep, if this thing wants to go up for 19 weeks in a row, just keep moving your stop up as it moves up. And when it finally, probably should have used a different color. When it finally cracks it, you're out of your stop. You're done. You're cooked. You take your money, walk away. You made a load of money. Thanks for that question. I hope that was helpful. I see Apple popping up over here. This is a nice breakout of a 3/8 trap. Nice breakout. Nice chart. I can see some folks thinking, well, are we worried about this top? If you're worried about that top, don't trade it till it breaks out. It's real simple. You know, my arm hurts when I lift it over my head. I go to the doctor, tell the doctor what's wrong. The doctor looks at me with a straight face and says, well, stop raising your arm over your head. You know, if you don't like that resistance, don't trade that. It's that simple. That simple. For every person that you get that says they have no problem trading this right here, and that resistance doesn't scare them, you will get the same amount of people that says, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole till it breaks out and proves itself. Just decide what you want to do. That simple. That simple. It really is that simple. How are we going to figure out where this is going to go? Based on our question there on that ACET. Well, just throw a dart, because that's as good as it gets. Look, I know a lot of people disagree with that, but the reality is, if you're in this position and you're a swing trader, now if you're a long-term trader, that is a different ball game. But if you're a swing trader and it does this, and you're waiting on that, and maybe we get a candle like this right here, what are you going to do? I hope you take your money. Once again, just throw a dart and put a line up there. That's as good as it gets. On the other hand, if you feel the need that you've got to put some lines up here and be all smart and, you know, you want to look at those little lines, throw a bunch of little darts then. Or you just come over here, and what I like to look for is, where did this trend kind of start? And here we rallied up, but see how we pulled back a little bit. Let's see, I'm going to move this down. There we go. I'm going to draw a horizontal line in there. You see right there? See where we broke out? Boom, we broke out. And then we have this low right in here. That's where I'm going to start. And so let's just take this low. We're going to go to the high, and the high is right there, just about where we are now. And then I'm going to come down to this low, and there you go. You can, if you feel that, you can leave that up, or you can put lines up like this, or whatever you want to do. You can remove that now if you want. If that works for you, then okay. Just don't I've seen this happen so many times is, oh, we did it. We are so smart. We went through 180, 320. We rested one day. Oh, we did it again. Okay, let's go. 190, 254. Let's get it going here. Well, what happens is it doesn't get there, and we do this. I have seen people, I have been one of those people. Oh, I'm going to hold it because we're still trending. It all looks good. Don't take any profits. I'm going to keep it. And it does this. And then it does this. That doesn't mean Apple is a piece of garbage. It just means it's pulling back. In the meantime, I totally did not take any money. I know hundreds of people that did not take any money. Throw darts at your hubby. No. So, anyway, I hope I answered the question about targets, but I also want to be realistic about targets. They're not some magical skyhook up there that's going to hold price. It's not a magnet in the sky that's going to bring price to it. Trading price is the key. Trading your trend is the key. Now, if you want to put something up there maybe because there's, millions of other people doing the same thing. And if you find that helps, then okay. But don't get locked in, oh man, I have a target up here and I'm not selling Apple till it gets to $200. Because before it gets to $200, it could very well move down to 128. I'm not saying it can't go there, but it could just as easy move down to 128 before it gets there. So anyway, sorry, I got a little off topic there. I apologize. Those were great questions. Let's take a look at a few things over here. So we've already looked at, here, CERN. We haven't looked at that one. CERN. There's CERN. There's a 3/8 trap. We're above the cloud. I mean, if that works for you. J&J. That's not J&J. There's J&J right there. Don't really like that chart, though. Not right now. If today's candle was a little bit bigger, if we got up, above 170, 165, then I think I could like J&J. But I'm not in the habit of picking bottoms. And I do believe J&J, based on, the whole COVID thing and drugs and whatnot, I believe J&J could get to 180. I do. I really do. But is this when it's going to start running toward that area? And that I can't tell you. I don't know if this is where it's going to start. And since I try to pay attention to the charts and only trade charts that are giving me good hints. And this is not a good hint, if you ask me. This is a failed top here, and it looks like a drowning ship, and people are in the water dog paddling to hang on. So if we were to see something like this, maybe today, or maybe we hold on with that little hammer thing going on today, and then maybe tomorrow we did something like that, now I could get interested in it. And we could be on our way then to that 180. So that's why I don't like J&G right now. ARNA, what's that? What's all with these weird charts going on here? STZ, there we go. STZ. Here we are up. Look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. Up. Look at that little sideways consolidation right there. Nice 3/8 trap. And by the way, I know that some people here might not be able to trade $250 stocks. I get that. I don't trade $250 stocks usually. This works with $1 stocks. Okay, it just so happens my watch list is not $1 stocks. Okay, that's what it amounts to. So You just have to have a watch list or, whatever. And that meets your criteria. So, let's see. It's above the cloud. Yes, it is. Look at the weekly. On J&J. That's not going to change my mind, Phil. That's not going to change my mind in any way, shape, or form. I trade from the daily chart. Now that might change your mind, and that's perfectly fine. I trade from the daily chart, and the daily chart must, without question, must be set up to my liking, and this is not. While the weekly chart, that's a beautiful chart. It is. It is. Just don't trade the weekly. So, anyway, any questions? Any more questions out there? Sorry, I got a little off track here. I have about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to have to go. Hello, Scott. I noticed that my Trendicator will show a green dot when yours is a red dot. I have it on the C. I see your problem right there, Scott. Yeah, let me fix you here. You said you had it on 10, and I think you wrote 1.5. Change it to 0.10. Okay? So 10, 0.10. There you go. And that should solve your problem. And what that does, you know what? I just realized on this chart, it's set at 21. I'm going to set it to the 17. There you go. And then I'm going to turn see these dots? See the black line kind of show up? All it does is it tracks the moving average. Okay. Sorry, I add this to the 21. This is the chart I was using with that individual that I was talking about. And he uses the 21. Okay. Any other questions? See MasterCard. Look at MasterCard here. Boom. Working. Above the trap. Here we're up. Pop out of the box, setting up. 3/8 trap broke out. Beautiful chart. If you're concerned about that resistance, remember, go to the doctor. If the doctor tells you your arm hurts when you raise it over your head, just stop raising it over your head. Real simple. So don't buy it there. That's what I'm trying to get to. Wait till it breaks out. Wait till it breaks out. The 3/8 trap, use the T-line for a stop. Remember why you like this chart? You like this chart because it's a 3/8 trap. And this one is a breakout. But I'm going to put my stop where the beginning of the liking is right here. 359.30. Now, these come up. I don't have to chase them around. I don't have to. Pretty easy. You can add as many conditions that you want. Look at MNST. You guys saw me. I added the cloud in there. We're above the cloud. You saw that I added a Trendicator in there. You saw that I added a trap in there. There it is. Does anyone have any other anything that you would think would be an advantage? And if it's easy, I can do it. If it's complicated, then I can't do it. Only because I don't use the scanner like Ed does, and I'm not as smart as Ed is on this, okay? So if anybody has another condition you'd like to add, let me know. We'll add it if I can do it, okay? Without asking how to do it. Hey, Dean, how are you? Thank you. Oh, Ed put up a link up there for a 14-day trial. I urge everyone that doesn't have the scanner, I urge you to give it a shot. It's 14 days. It's free. And I mean it's free. Doesn't even ask for a credit card. So there's no fear of being rebilled. So please take a look at that. If we can get 5 people that download it, or anyone that's on a trial, get a hold of Ed. We'll set up a class this week sometime. And by the way, those that already have the scanner, you'd be more than welcome to come to that class. And I'm more than happy to help you set up a few of these like this here. Okay. So Scott's asking, do you ever wait until price closes below the T-line? Yes, most of the time that's what I do, Scott. Most of the time. So let's take, let's take TEL. That's coming up on another, yeah, except it's red. We don't want that one. I never buy those. Well, let's take GPN. What is that looking like? Nah, that's on my watch list. All right, let's just take MasterCard. There we go. So if I was to buy MasterCard, then that's anything below the T-line, I'm going to be stopped out. That's my, look, I'm human, all right? I make horrible choices. You know, I don't always make good choices. I'm human. So if we started to trend down, I'm not going to worry about it. Intraday, I'm not going to get too excited. Maybe a little, but not too much. And I may not close it out intraday. But if it closes at the end of the day, yes, I'm going to have to close it out. Now, here's where I would close this intraday. Say we take a look at the market, and the market is tanking. Well, why in the hell would I want to hang on to that? The handwriting's on the wall. You know, let's not be a hero. So if the market is tanking and that is moving down intraday, time to get out of it. Okay? Cool beans. What's the difference between a vol stop and the Trendicator? They're actually, let me change that. Let me go back to that. Back that up just a little bit. So the Trendicator is created using the volatility stop. The volatility stop, I don't even think I have it here. Nope. There's the vol stop. The volatility stop, there we go, is we're looking for these dots here, and they're giving us volatility points, volatility support, volatility resistance, and we set it up using 10 and 1.5, and this is the key right here. We're using the main chart or the price action, okay? What the Trendicator is, let's go back to here. We're using the volatility stop. In other words, if I come over here, add a plot, volatility, there we go. Use the volatility stop. I'm going to use that indicator, but I'm going to set it up with these parameters, 10 and 0.10. And what that does, we have found that tracks wherever you put it. So let's go down here to the data source. This is important. The data source, instead of the main chart, I'm going to use the 17 exponential or whatever moving average you might want to use. I just like the 17. Okay? And we're going to get rid of that. There we go. Does that help there, Ron? So the Trendicator is the volatility stop. It's just set up differently. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm over my time. Ed's going to boot me off. Thanks everybody for being here. I absolutely appreciate it. I really thank you. Welcome to 2022. Let's make this the very best year possible. This is a really good time to stop and think about your trading. And you never want to make big changes Unless you've been losing money all year, then yeah, scrap everything you've been doing and start over. If you are just trying to improve your trading, just make little tweaks. Just little tweaks, okay? You guys take care. Thank you very much. Everyone have a great rest of your week, rest of your year. Thank you.